What's going on, everybody? Welcome to 13th Planet. I'm your leader, Jason X. Today I'm going to be reviewing Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. This is a 2006 slasher thriller. As always, I will be giving a recap with spoilers and my review right after. So let's get into it. So this movie starts with a news reporter from the University News. Taylor, played by the little girl from Home Alone who knew French.
You're what the French call les incompetents. What?
You know the girl. She's reporting from Glen Echo, Maryland. We get an awesome shout out to Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, Chucky, and Micheal Myers right off the start. The reporter goes to interview Freddy's neighbor and he just ignores her, but he is played by KANE HODDER, my boy. There is a new story in this small town of someone who's looking to join the ranks of the Big Four. He was a young boy who lived on a farm who was possessed by evil and was taken by a mob, thrown over a waterfall, and perished. That boy was ready to make his comeback and become the next big slasher, Leslie Vernon. The crew goes to his house so that they can follow him around and see what it takes to become a slasher. When they meet this guy, he seems like a nice, normal guy, normal house, normal pets. He has himself a turtle. We learn all the training a killer needs to be successful. He has to do endless cardio so he can chase people without getting winded.
Cardio I have to do. It's ridiculous. There's that whole thing, making it look like you're walking. Everybody else is running the rest.
He has to stalk his targets beforehand to access each individual to make sure that all the people are in the correct category, such as the jock, the whore, the pothead, and the final girl.
Everybody thinks we just wake up one morning and start obsessing about a girl and start stalking her, killing everybody that gets in the way.
That does seem to happen a lot with you.
He goes to school to pick out a group of teens that he wants to stalk and discusses how he picks them out. Looking for the final girl, we meet Kelly Curtis, a waitress in the local diner that has been selected as his final girl. We then meet one of Leslie's mentors, who is now retired. We find him in a sensory deprivation chamber. Killers use this to become more aware of bodily functions, such as slowing down the heart rate in case you need to look like you're dead. Eugene is played by Scott Wilson, Maggie's dad from The Walking Dead. He talks about the good old days of killing in the 60s and 70s when it was more about the quantity of killing. Again, our heavy hitters Michael, Jason, and Freddy give props for changing the game and becoming something different and special, something that lived on. We get to see Leslie set up a few more things, such as fake new articles for the final girl Kelly. Even goes as far as switching the information in the library just in case Kelly goes looking for it. Mrs. Collinwood plays the librarian who helps Kelly look for the news article, who is played by Zelda Rubinstein from The Poltergeist. While Kelly and the librarian are reading the news article, Leslie strikes and kills the librarian. The first time we see Leslie in his plain white mask, and Kelly is saved by Dr. Halloran, a psychiatrist played by none other than Robert Englund, who visited Leslie as a child, basically our Dr. Loomis of the story. The next day, our reporter goes to the diner and our final girl Kelly is working. As they're sitting there recording, Robert Englund, or Doc Halloran, sees them recording and comes over to have a word with them. He tells them that Leslie Vernon's real name is Leslie Mancuso from Nevada and that he is extremely dangerous. We get to see the house where Leslie is going to set up the big plan. We learn about the killer's code of ethics, kill switches in the house to cut the lights, taking the spark plugs out of the car, sabotaging all the weapons available to them, and minimizing their exits. As Leslie is preparing for the night, we get the song from The Shining, Midnight, the Stars, and You.
Midnight, where the stars and you. Midnight, and a rendezvous. Your arms held a message tender.
Then it's time for the final showdown. As he stalks the 18s in the house to set up the scene for the final girl, the reporter Taylor decides to grow a conscience, since she can't just sit back and watch everything go down, and that she decides that she has to warn the teens in the house. However, Leslie has already accommodated for the reporter and her two crew members getting in the way, as he's already a step ahead. Turns out that Kelly, the waitress, wasn't a virgin after all. This whole time, Taylor, the reporter, was the final girl all along. Leslie and Taylor have a fun little battle, but Taylor, of course, ends up on top as she kills Leslie. But do slashers ever really die? This was a fun movie at best. It is a slasher, satire, mockumentary, parody movie. It does pay homage to Halloween, Friday the 13th, Freddy Krueger, Chucky, and even The Shining. I feel like those were probably the best parts for me. You know, the reason I feel like a lot of the jokes and, you know, the fun scenes can be overlooked if you're just a casual movie watcher. For example, the Red Rabbit Lounge that is briefly seen in one of the first scenes. You really need to be a slasher lover to enjoy this movie. I'm not one who really likes to mix horror and comedy, but this movie was very enjoyable, all things considered. The idea and the path that this movie follows is fun and original. Even the slight plot twist at the end, the reporter actually being the final girl, is easily predicted when watching. The actor of Leslie, Nathan Beasel, does an amazing job playing the nice guy and also getting crazy and scary when the time comes. As I mentioned before, I feel like the only thing that kept this movie fueled and going for me was seeing KANE HODDER, Robert Englund, and all the nods to our favorites. You know, really keeps you wanting and waiting for more cameos and mentions, you know, to all the greats. And if it wasn't for that, I feel like this movie really would have fallen short. There is one kill that really stood out when Leslie uses a garden tool to rip a guy's heart out. This movie's not really a scary movie, so, you know, would I watch this movie again? Yeah, but not anytime soon. So all things considered, I'm going to go ahead and rate this movie a 6 out of 10. As always, thank you guys so much for joining me today. I will have another review for you guys coming soon. If you guys have any movie requests, if you want to reach out, if you have any questions, you can find me at Jason13Planet. Please like and share this video. If you did enjoy it, please subscribe. Join me next week on 13th Planet, where there is a world of possibilities.